Imagine a puzzle box. Not just any puzzle, but one that has been hidden away for decades, its pieces scattered and lost over time. Each piece holds a clue, a fragment of a story waiting to be told. This puzzle is not a game, but a real-life mystery that has baffled investigators and intrigued the public for over 50 years. Inside, a jumbled mess of photographs, wigs, and coded notes. These items, seemingly unrelated, are the key to unraveling the enigma of the Isdal woman. Each photograph captures a moment in time, each wig a disguise, and each coded note a secret message. Together, they form a complex web of intrigue and deception. Each piece a fragment of a life shrouded in secrecy. The Isdal woman's belongings tell a story of a person who lived in the shadows, constantly on the move, and always hiding her true identity. Her life was a series of aliases and false identities, each one more mysterious than the last. This isn't a game, but the real-life mystery of the Isdal woman. Found dead in a remote valley in Norway in 1970, her death was as enigmatic as her life. The circumstances surrounding her demise were bizarre and puzzling, leaving more questions than answers. Found dead in Norway 1970, her identity remains unknown. Who was she? Why was she there? The Isdal woman's case has haunted investigators for decades. Despite numerous theories and extensive investigations, her true identity and the reasons for her presence in Norway remain a mystery. And how did she die? The circumstances of her death were strange and unsettling. Her body was found badly burned, with no clear cause of death. The scene was littered with cryptic clues, but none that provided a definitive answer. Was it murder, suicide, or something else entirely? The answers, elusive as smoke, continue to baffle. Despite the passage of time, the mystery of the Isdal woman remains unsolved. Each new piece of evidence only adds to the confusion, making the truth seem even more distant and unattainable. Let's delve into this chilling enigma, where truth is stranger than fiction. Join us as we explore the life and death of the Isdal woman, piecing together the fragments of her story in an attempt to uncover the truth behind one of the most perplexing mysteries of the 20th century. Isdalen Valley, Norway. A place known for its serene beauty and tranquil landscapes, often attracting hikers and nature enthusiasts from all over the world. But on one fateful day, this peaceful valley became the site of a chilling mystery. The air, crisp and cold, carried an eerie silence that seemed to amplify the sense of foreboding. The frost clung to every surface, creating a stark contrast to the dark events that were about to unfold. A group of hikers, enjoying what they thought would be a routine trek, stumbled upon a horrifying sight. A charred body in a desolate, rocky outcrop. Their day of adventure quickly turned into a nightmare. The woman lay on her back, partially hidden by the smoke-tinged rocks. Her body was severely burned, making it difficult to discern any identifying features. The scene was both tragic and deeply unsettling. It was a scene straight out of a nightmare. The stark wilderness, combined with the gruesome discovery, created an atmosphere of dread that lingered in the air. The police were called in, their investigation hampered by the fire's destruction. The remote location and the harsh conditions added to the challenges they faced in uncovering the truth. The body, badly burned, held few clues. The extent of the damage made it nearly impossible to identify the victim or determine the cause of death with certainty. Who was this unfortunate soul, and what brought her to this lonely place? The questions were as numerous as they were haunting. Was she a local, or had she traveled from afar? Was this a tragic accident or something far more sinister? Investigators meticulously combed the area for any shred of evidence. Every rock, every piece of debris was examined in the hopes of finding something that could shed light on the woman's identity and the circumstances of her death. The forensic team worked tirelessly, bagging and tagging every potential clue. The cold wind whipped through the valley, carrying with it the faint scent of smoke and the weight of unanswered questions. News of the gruesome discovery spread quickly, drawing media attention and public curiosity. The once quiet Isdalen Valley was now the center of a macabre mystery that captivated the nation. The local community was in shock. Conversations in hushed tones filled the air as people speculated about the identity of the woman and the circumstances that led to her tragic end. Authorities held press conferences, urging anyone with information to come forward. The investigation was now a race against time, as the harsh winter conditions threatened to erase any remaining evidence. As night fell, the scene took on an even more eerie quality. Investigators worked late into the night, their determination unwavering despite the growing darkness and cold. The case weighed heavily on the minds of those involved. Detectives pieced together fragments of information, hoping to form a coherent picture of what had transpired in this remote corner of Norway. As the sun rose over Isdal Valley, a new day brought with it a renewed sense of determination. The mystery of the charred body was far from solved, but the quest for answers continued, driven by the hope that one day, the truth would be revealed. As investigators combed the scene, unsettling details emerged. Near the body lay remnants of her belongings: a burned passport, a melted bottle labeled phenol, a strong sleeping drug, and oddly, rubber boots with the labels removed. The fire, deemed deliberately set, only deepened the mystery. Who would go to such lengths to erase their tracks? The woman, it seemed, did not want to be found. But why? Back at the station, the puzzle pieces grew stranger. The woman's luggage, discovered at a train station, unveiled a collection of wigs, different clothing styles, and a makeup kit fit for a disguise artist. More alarmingly, police uncovered a series of notebooks filled with coded entries. Were these secret messages? Travel logs? The mystery deepened with each revelation. Who was this chameleon-like woman, and what secrets did she guard? The year was 1970. The Cold War cast long shadows across Europe. Norway, a NATO member, found itself on the front lines of this ideological battle. Could the Isdal woman be a spy? Her multiple identities, coded notes, and secretive movements certainly hinted at espionage. Was she a double agent caught in a web of intrigue? The theory, though unconfirmed, added another layer of intrigue to an already perplexing case. Despite the baffling clues, the official investigation concluded suicide. The case was closed with a stamp of finality, leaving many questions unanswered. The detective in charge seemed convinced, but was it really that simple? The evidence pointed to a tragic end, but the story behind it was far from clear. The police file, marked with the word suicide, seemed to shut the door on any further inquiry. But for those who knew her, the conclusion felt premature and unsettling. The cause of death? Barbiturate poisoning, evidenced by the phenol bottle. The medical examiner's report was clear: a lethal dose of barbiturates had ended her life. The pills were found next to her, a silent witness to her final moments. But was it a deliberate act of self-destruction, or was there more to the story? The presence of the phenol bottle raised more questions than it answered. How did she get the pills? Was she coerced into taking them, or did someone else administer the fatal dose? Yet many questioned this verdict. Friends, family, and even some members of the public couldn't accept the official story. They gathered in small groups, debating the possibilities. Press conferences were held, with skeptical expressions on the faces of those who spoke. Protesters took to the streets, demanding a deeper investigation. The community was divided, with some believing in the suicide narrative and others convinced that foul play was involved. The debate raged on, fueled by the inconsistencies in the case. The meticulous removal of labels, the staged fire, and the strange circumstances surrounding her death only added to the mystery. Someone had gone to great lengths to cover their tracks. Labels were carefully peeled off bottles, making it difficult to trace their origins. A small, controlled fire had been set, destroying potential evidence. Investigators found themselves sifting through the ashes, trying to piece together what had happened. The more they uncovered, the more questions arose. Who had the motive and the means to orchestrate such a complex cover-up? And the sheer oddity of her belongings, items that seemed out of place and out of character. Her personal effects were laid out on a table, each one more puzzling than the last. There were objects that didn't fit with her known lifestyle, raising suspicions about their origin. Investigators were left scratching their heads, trying to make sense of the bizarre collection. Was it a clue to her state of mind, or evidence of someone else's involvement? The oddities only deepened the enigma, making it harder to accept the simple explanation of suicide. These details didn't sit well with the suicide narrative. The more the investigators delved into the case, the more they found themselves questioning the initial conclusion. Conflicting clues littered the investigation board, each one pointing in a different direction. Detectives shook their heads in disbelief, unable to reconcile the evidence with the suicide theory. The case was becoming a labyrinth of contradictions, with no clear path to the truth. Every new piece of evidence seemed to contradict the last, leaving the investigators in a state of perpetual confusion. Was it a convenient conclusion to a case too complex to solve? The sheer volume of case files was overwhelming, each one adding another layer of complexity. Detectives spent countless hours poring over the details, trying to find a thread that would lead them to the truth. But the more they looked, the more elusive the answers became. Was the suicide verdict a way to close a case that was too tangled to unravel? Or was it a deliberate attempt to hide something more sinister? The investigative team was left grappling with these questions, their minds weighed down by the enormity of the task. Or did someone orchestrate her death to look like a suicide? The possibility of foul play loomed large, casting a shadow over the entire investigation. A shadowy figure planting evidence, a dark alley where secrets were exchanged, a carefully staged scene designed to mislead. All these elements pointed to a more sinister plot. Was there someone out there who had gone to great lengths to make her death appear as a suicide? The investigators couldn't shake the feeling that they were being led down a false path, that the real story was hidden just out of reach. The truth remained elusive, shrouded in mystery and deception. Decades later, the Isdal woman's true identity remains a mystery. Was she a spy, a runaway, or something else entirely? Theories abound. Some believe she was part of a secret government program, her death a cover-up. Others speculate she stumbled upon information too dangerous to keep secret. The truth, lost in the fog of time, continues to tantalize and torment. The Isdal Woman case is a testament to the power of mystery. It reminds us that some stories refuse to be forgotten. Today, with advancements in DNA technology and renewed public interest, there's hope that her identity might be revealed. Perhaps hidden in the details lies a clue that could unlock the truth. The Isdal Woman's story is a stark reminder that some mysteries may never be fully solved. Yet, it's in the pursuit of answers, in the piecing together of fragmented narratives, that we confront the unknowable. And perhaps, that's where the true essence of this chilling case lies, not in a definitive answer but in the endless possibilities that continue to haunt us.